Hey, community, here's what's brewing today.
Rumors, Lizzo versus Lindsay.
Ask your auntie, begging for a blowjob.
In Afghanistan and Haiti. So get your cups ready for Minority Report. Hey, welcome to Minority Report. It's Auntie Carell.
Auntie Jarrell.
Hi, Auntie Landon's here.
Oh, shit. Hey, girl. You know, community, we told you last week that Dewan's just living his best Grecian life, his Grecian goddess life.
She looks, that picture with her in the reflection, the caftan,
Honey.
bitch, I said,
I was like, you better work, bitch. So she's on the other side of the world living her life. So she's going to get a couple weeks off, you know, to just fulfill her fantasy. And I'm mad. I want to go too. And you know who else is there? I just saw on IG and I shot him at the sex.
Oh, we know.
So, dude.
I almost text Dewan like, you should go meet up with Q.
I told Quentin, I was like, Dewan's over there. He's like, tell him to send me a message. So I told Dewan to send him a message. We'll see. But yeah, I'm jealous. Hey, Quentin. No, just
for the safety of my marriage.
Bitch.
Look, Gandalf, you shall not pass, bitch. Okay,
honey. That's a good looking man right there. But
Lori, that's a man.
That's a man.
Lori, that's a man, honey.
But thank you, Landon, for filling in, boo boo.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm super excited.
Community, y'all better get ready. Just forewarned, the three of us are in the same crew.
It's been a mess already. It's been a mess.
We in like 4 different group chats together outside of the podcast.
Literally,
yeah.
It's a mess.
A whole mess.
Mm-hmm.
A whole
just
mess.
like Landon's.
Oh damn!
You know what? I'm not about to disrespect your scruffy heifer ass on this podcast of yours, okay?
Let me have it, girl. Look, come on now. Don't front in front of the girls now,
honey,
girl. You know she'd be quick to pull out the receipts real quick. No.
You know I'm the bone collector. You better stuff your mouth with them chips. Look, you better keep stuffing that mouth with those Fritos.
You know what she remind me of? She like your mama in church, but she'll pull you out to outside and be like, "Let me tell you,
listen here,
don't make me come for your ass." Look, that's how Lanny come for you. She'll pull you to the side. Let me tell you something, here, little girl.
Let me tell you something.
Right. It's the little girl part.
Okay,
of
I will pull you into that part. Don't make me have to reach your ass in this marathon.
That's a fact. I know it was so good to see Landon because I hadn't seen Landon since Palm Springs 2020, like 2 weeks before Miss Rona reared her ugly ass.
It was crazy because I think about the amount of time that passed, and during COVID and while we're like all locked down and everything, it felt like forever. And then when I saw you and everything's been lifted, I'm like, wow, we were in Palm Springs while this was unfolding, and we were probably reading about coronavirus in China and you know,
right.
And we were like, y'all better get your... Right, we didn't know. So I think we were probably reading the news like, y'all better get y'all shit together over there. And then before you know it...
And meanwhile, we're in Palm Springs, it's like dudes galore.
Oh,
barely got y'all shit together.
Barely.
Barely
got our shit together.
And for all we know, it could have been... we could have been in it. We could have just breathed and Rona all over the place.
Guarantee you it had to have been there.
Yeah.
It had to have been there.
Yeah.
The more, obviously what we know now,
right?
It was somewhere, especially we're on the West Coast. So that shit came over on the West Coast. It was there. Yeah. Thank you, Lord, for not letting it attack us that we know of. But got to see Lana a couple of weeks ago at Market Days. So community, you know we love us some Market Days. We have many a story on this podcast about Market Days. And they added another day this year, which they did not need to do.
They did not do that.
My liver was mad as hell.
I don't even know.
Bitch, a third day?
I don't even know, why, because it's not... They said it would start on Friday afternoon at 5, but none of the tents, there were no concerts or anything. So I'm like, okay, so did you just say that to, get more people or what? Yep. But on, what day did you get in? Was it Thursday? So we had Thursday, we had Friday, we had Sunday, and then...
Oh, he skipped over Saturday. Saturday,
a blur.
I was telling Jarrell today, Saturday was my time travel day. A bitch was time traveling. I was in bed by 9:30. with all these girls still. And I told Landon at dinner, I was like, because we go to dinner, so I'm gonna lay it out there. So this is Saturday night. This is already after Thursday and Friday night, y'all.
Right.
So we're like, going to dinner. We go to Diva, like everyone every year wants to go to Diva, Thai food, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, well, after this, we want to go, shower and clean up. And it's already like 8:30, 9 o'clock. And I was like, I'm telling you heifers now, I feel it in my spirit. If I go back to shower, my ass is going to be done.
That's a
And
wrap.
sure enough, I remember walking into I guess I could tell my friend's place. My friend's place, I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Sat on that damn couch and was done. Gone. And woke up to like my phone buzzing, everyone calling me saying, where was I at? We back out. I was like, nope, not doing it. Can't do it. Cannot, in my spirit, in my beings of beings, get my ass back out in these streets.
Yo, Saturday.
I died because I FaceTimed Friday, Saturday, because you posted Landon. I mean, and not Landon. You posted Josh, like basically dead in that morning, and I literally had to call my friend and be like, I need to FaceTime my friend and check up on her because she don't look so well. Like,
so wait, here's what happened. So Josh got in Friday night. So my apartment was basically just a frat house for everybody to just be over. So I got this small ass living room, got an inflatable bed. So Josh flew in and our friend Brandon kind of surprised everyone. So everybody had landed around 9:30. Josh was like ready to go. So we all went out. I didn't realize that Josh had like really drank a lot, but he also had not eaten. I didn't realize it either. So Saturday morning, which all of Saturday is a blur. Saturday morning, well, Friday night, they were like, oh, we want to go to the gym. I was like, bitch, you ain't going to nobody's gym on Saturday morning on market days. Him and Lewis, our friend Lewis, they're like, oh, we want to go to Lifetime. And I'm like, you bitches are not getting up. You're not getting up. So Saturday, Josh, he kind of got up and he kind of like walked around like a lost puppy and went right back down to bed. I said, are you all right? He said, you didn't hear me last night? I said, ooh.
We tell his bit.
Oh, I know she's listening right now.
He'll be all right.
We probably should change the names for the innocent, huh? Well, not the innocent, the guilty, all the above.
Right. So it's whatever. But it was Saturday was an entire blur. It was nothing but like I had nothing to eat all day except for like Adderall, vodka, and some dick. That was it.
And some dick. That's how you carb up, bitch. That's how you carb up. That's how you soak that liquor up, bitch.
That's Lebuticus 4-2.
Honey. Everybody's like, where'd you go? I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
But would you say, because the weather was great, and so nobody made it to the Manhandler Saloon community, so I know you all love that story about sucking dick in the bar behind the Manhandler Saloon. So nobody made it there, but would you say this year was one for the record books, or would you say it was par for the course? Did it feel different for other years?
It felt different. 2019, I feel like the market days there was perfect. This one was different because we obviously didn't do one in 2020. And I think some of us forgot, not going to mention any names here. I think some of us forgot how lit things can get, you know? So I think this market days was just like more of a reunion and like celebrating that we can go out, et cetera, et cetera. There was not anything too scandalous. Nothing, no bushes, no back alleys, none of that.
But what I did, and I'll tell on myself, community. I said I would never go to Progress, and these heifers got me in Progress. But what did I tell you when I first walked in that bitch?
So wait, he's like, I'm not giving them a dollar. So wait, I
did spend a single dollar in that place
because I saw you. I think it was Sunday. You were about to buy a bottle of water, and you had a bottle. I said, this bitch is about to spend $1, and he ended up getting the bottle of water for free.
I was like, so did. The bartender was like, here you go, I'm gonna give you that. I was like, thank you, boo, because I sure didn't want to spend these little $5.
And he put like, it was just like, girl's like, I'm not.
I was in my feelings, and I said, what did I say it smelled like?
He said it smelled like chlorine and racism. I was like,
did. I walked through that bitch. I was like, ooh, what's that? I was like, it smelled like chlorine and racism in here.
I'm dead, man.
Oh my God.
Like we went Friday night and I was in my feelings about it because like a friend of ours really wanted to go and I was like, I am not going in that place. I haven't seen them. They still ain't got no Black Lives Matter in here. Trans lives matter. Nothing. I don't see nothing in here. And I don't see a black bartender.
You did. Like, you did though.
Eventually I did see one.
Yeah. On Sunday, I think I pointed him out. I was like, there's a black bartender here.
I was in my feelings, but I was like,
not the one though.
The one, singular. Exactly.
But yeah, this
but like everyone else was going, so I was like, okay, I haven't seen a lot of my friends in like 2 years.
Yeah.
So I was like, I will, whatever. Go in there, but I ain't spending $1. So I probably owe some people some drinks because I did get a couple drinks. But I was like, I ain't spending my coins in this bitch.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Saturday, complete blur. And I told Corral, I was like, listen, I had every intention to be out by 11 o'clock, getting turned by 11:01. I want to be riding those faces and sucking those dicks at 3. I need a nap at 5.
Yes, you wore the fuck out.
Okay. Okay, so took a nap at 5, was back out at 7, ready to go. I was like, I have not eaten all day. So it was a lot of fun.
It was cool. And it was just cool to see some familiar faces. A couple people knew the podcast. I wore the Community We Got merch coming up like ASAP. I wore the Wash Your Hands, Your Legs, and Ass shirt. And people were like, eating it alive. Yep. So I was like, okay, we gotta get this out here quick. So merch is coming soon, community.
He wore it all weekend long. I was like, you are really out here promoting, aren't you? And he was like,
the whole weekend, boo. Mm-hmm. I was wearing all the minority garb and talking about it to everybody.
That was me at the volleyball tournament last weekend. I was in the middle of nowhere, fucking Oregon, at a national sand volleyball tournament. And I sure did have on the wash legs.
Absolutely.
Like, whoop.
Minority Report, new episode every Monday, bitch.
I'm surprised you didn't have the little pins this year. Remember that one year? I think it was the year that you started the podcast. And you had a book. Mm-hmm. You had a bucket. It was like, here you go, pin for you. I was like, wow.
Yeah, man. I stay on that hustle. Stay on that grind.
I love that.
But yeah, it was fun. It was just good to be around friends again. We missed Jarrell. Like the old time, we're like, oh, where's Jarrell?
I was like,
I missed the Juan.
I'm going to get you next year, Jarrell.
Look, it's still on the no-fly list. I told y'all that Chicago on the no-fly list, so.
I'm going to get you.
I almost lost my whole man, so I was like,
we're going to get you.
But I've grown since then. I am no longer that same person. She has grown a lot since then.
That's a true statement.
You're still petty.
You're right. Absolutely.
You're still petty.
Oh, Lord.
It's going on the tombstone.
Good old market days. Does it to you every time. So.
Yes.
And then now we have friends out in P-Town now. I'm like, I'm getting FOMO of P-Town. I've never been, but
I still don't. I was about to say, I already FOMO. But yeah, I ain't never been either.
Get ready next year. I'm already starting to. I've already started to.
I can't do both. We gotta pick one. We talk about this in the group chat every time. Yeah. We gotta pick one.
You gotta pick one. I don't have to pick one. You gotta pick one.
What I'm talking about is we gotta pick one that everybody gonna make sure that we at. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I'm gonna be at both. So you let me know which one and I'll be there with a hug.
There we go.
Okay.
I mean,
community, which one should we do next year? P-Town or Market Days? Let us know. Which one should we go to?
I would say P-Town, especially.
I would say P-Town too, because I ain't been. Yeah. I'm trying to look snatched by next summer, so.
Honey, you already look snatched. Come on now.
Bitch, no, my booty got smaller. I literally touched it yesterday. I was touching it last night. Smaller. Let me tell you. So I can now cup it with, one cheek with one hand. I know. That's sad.
You hear these crickets. He over there telling the tale. He lying. Why you lying?
I can't. Look, I can cup it all with just like with one hand.
Honey.
It's got a little,
a little
smaller.
That is still a horse carriage. What are you talking about? That is still a horse carriage. You remember
not me taking Cinderella to the ball, bitch.
You remember that? You remember that In Living Color skit with Kim Wayans, and she was the teacher with the big butt. That's you.
Yes. Oh
that's
my God, I forgot about that.
That's you. So, I don't know who you trying to fool, sis.
I mean, Landon, you right there, right behind her. In the status of our friends, they probably go Jarrell, Landon, then the rest of us.
One of our friends, I don't know if we should say his name or not, but he normally didn't have a little booty. And Carell and I, our friend was here for market days, and we was like, you got a little zebby cake. What's going on here?
I was like, you got little zebra cakes.
I was like, come on.
What are we talking about?
Brandon.
I ain't seen y'all help us in a while, so somebody better send us an update.
Honey, Carell and I literally like did a double take. We're like, oh, she be eating out okra.
Y'all better post this in the chat right here on the Zoom right now. Somebody give me a name.
He said it.
Wait, who?
Hold on. Let me.
Be like,
really? Aquanita?
I know.
Aquanita?
Got a little bit.
I know.
Aquanita apple bomb.
Honey, I did it like a cartoon. I was like, what?
We all did. We was like, okay.
Why? She's still at the bottom of the list, though. She still ain't got no ass compared to the rest of everybody else.
Yeah. You're right.
But yeah, it was Market Days was something. Yeah, Market Days was amazing.
It makes me just miss Chicago every time I go, though. I miss it with all of my heart every single time. It still has that charm. It still has that energy. So, community, if you've never been to Chicago, especially during the summertime, check out Chicago. That is such a great city to visit during the summertime. Even the wintertime, people are like, oh, it's too cold. It's still pretty in the wintertime. You know, it is what it is. But y'all been listening to that new Lizzo rumors, though? Why?
No.
I'm not feeling it. No, I was feeling nothing about it. I wasn't feeling nothing about that video. First of all, was her ankle hurting? Was there something wrong? Because just even how she was walking, I was like,
all the rumors are true. Yeah, no, it grew on me. Because the first time I heard it, I was like, it's cute. Is it like I do the little hot tea, cold tea? I was like, okay, it's hot tea, but is it my favorite song right now? No. But I found in the few days since, I'll be like, the rumors are true. Yeah. Like a little humming it to myself. Damn.
It feels like a stretch. Really I think Rumors by Lindsay Lohan that came back out in 2001 was better. Just putting that out there.
I am so dead.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of
the one where she go like this in the video? Is that the one she go like that?
Why won't they just let me live? Yes. That is better.
You know what? So I hate that I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna co-sign the fuck out that because I literally feel the exact same way. And you know, normally, and I'd be like, but look, I'm with my sister on this one.
Yeah.
Y'all are putting Lizzie above Lizzie.
It's about damn time you have some taste, Jarrell. But yeah, it's not.
I like you.
Wow.
Look, and we're back. We're back to our scheduled program.
Okay, welcome. But yeah, I wasn't. I was like, because I saw your post about it. I was like, oh, let me go check this out. And I was like,
I will say, I liked Cardi's verse. Cardi's pen game has gotten so much better. Like,
you mean her people's pen game?
Whoever it is, whoever she paying, she got enough coin to pay somebody,
right?
To make sure that pen game looking good. And Cardi is the hardest working woman in fucking quarantine. She had on every damn song,
everything.
Bitch, with a baby smashing up them organs inside of her. Still in music videos, like
walking just fine,
and probably peeing down her leg and everything. You know, doing that choreography and that baby start to move and be pushing on that bladder. I don't know that, but that's what I hear.
I was like, because you said you know. I said no, I don't.
It's like, sure don't.
Look, them babies don't come to fruition inside me.
Oh,
yeah, they die inside like you. Wait, what?
You right.
But going back to Lizzo, Lizzo is from Houston, and she actually grew up in the neighborhood that I grew up in Houston. So like she went to the high school literally down the street from where I grew up. So on the surface, I'm a big Lizzo supporter because she's from my hometown, like where I grew up. And
Houston,
I just remember
Texas,
when she,
baby.
Yes, when she came out with Juice, I was like, ooh, okay. And then she started to really blow up. I was like, yes, it's about time. Like, we haven't had anybody from Houston like Beyonce in a minute.
Well, so, yeah, Megan.
Like,
but Lizzo came before Megan. Lizzo came before Megan, though.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot she's from Houston. That's right. Yeah. So, but I just think like, I'm like a big, like she literally grew up down the street, went to a high school in my district. So I'm a big Lizzo supporter. Like, hey, you know, she grew up in my neighborhood. That's A-Leaf. So,
okay, you just Butch Queen over here.
I'm just putting it out there, but I wasn't feeling it. Like Tempo, that is my jam right there.
Oh, Tempo didn't get as big as it needed.
It didn't. I was like, that song is the ish.
And I'm with you. I love Lizzo. I mean, like I go back to like Lizzo performing at First Ave in Minneapolis because she's from Houston, but she did a lot of her recording in Minneapolis, especially after being kind of featured and kind of picked up by Prince. And so, like, she did a lot of, like, performances in Minneapolis. And it's still one of my favorite fucking songs. Where they have my phone? Where they have my phone? Where they have my... How I'm supposed to get home? 2:15 and the lights come on. Hey, where my phone? Bitch, I'm telling you, that song is just like... That's a real ass song because you know you've been there at the club when the lights come on. You like, fuck. Then I gotta go home. Like, where my shit at? Where my
the
coat
whole time
at?
it's in your hand.
Right. You know, like you looking for your shit. You know, so I mean... And that was the song that when we saw her at Midtown Music Festival, the bass in that was like,
honey,
like,
I didn't like close my ears. I'm like, damn, like shit.
Yeah, but like, so I love Lizzo. I love her, but that song,
it's not it.
Just ain't it.
Yeah,
it is. It's not.
Wow.
Damn, Lizzo.
She didn't cut off. She not cut off. I'm need some. Just let that one go. That's just gonna be a single that just never makes it onto no album. Everyone has that one song they try, and people say
everybody has that one song, and that's it. Remember when Lady Gaga came out with like Art Pop, whatever, and everybody was like, or Applause. That's what it was, and everybody's like,
I liked Applause.
I liked it, but everybody's like, everybody always has just that one, and that song just reminds me of like, this song ain't all that.
No. I didn't mind it, and it's growing on me because at first I was like, okay, it's cute.
So maybe I'll listen to it again. You know what? I'll do this. I'll listen because I will say this: my ass said the same thing about "Rain on Me" last year.
You sure did.
But I did come back on the podcast, and I was like, you know what? All right, y'all. I have to admit that I like it. So I'm gonna give it a couple more listens. Yeah. And
it's not her best song by any means. I will say it's definitely not her best song by any means.
For sure.
But it grew on me because literally the last couple of them, I'm like, oh, the one was that you? Yeah. Like, I don't know the words or nothing. And then always, what's the line that I liked from Cardi? She's like, I'm a Bronx bitch making pop hits. I was like, okay, bitch. So I like that line. So there's a little moments in there, but damn. So she needs a round two. Fuck.
Girl,
come on, Lizzo. We're rooting for you, Lizzo.
We're rooting for you. I'm rooting for you.
It's like, damn. It's like, come on, we need you.
Learn from this. Learn from this.
Oh, man. And then I see like a lot of people online are talking about that new Marvel movie too. That is it Shang-Chi?
Shang-Chi.
I don't know. I think it is Shang-Chi? But it's the new Marvel movie coming out with the pretty much all Asian cast, which I'm all the way here for. And people are saying like it's almost like a mixture between like what Marvel does really well and kind of paying homage to like the historical Asian kind of like movie scene, kind of like just the cinematography and how they shot it. They kind of throw that in there a little bit. So I'm like, okay, they tried to do the damn thing, you know, make sure they did it right. I'm sure it was still white people filming it, but that's okay. We're slowly, but surely.
I mean, as long as the spotlight on the correct people,
that part,
right?
That's all that matters to me.
Well, you basically, if I don't know if you recently heard, but I think it was the CEO of Disney or whatever kind of made a comment about, you know how a lot of Marvel movies have now gone from movies to like WandaVision, it's kind of gone to TV.
Like TV
so
shows.
He was talking, right, it's gone to TV shows. So he was talking about how now that this movie is an experiment, and I can't remember the guy's name, the star of the movie, but he kind of took offense.
Mr. Fine as fuck.
Shit.
Yes. He was talking about like he kind of just, and rightfully so, was talking about like, why is this movie like, this movie is not an experiment, and I think it was taken as like an experiment with Asian people or people of color. And it really set off a lot of nerves when it came to this movie. So I'm looking forward to seeing.
So his name is Simu Liu, like so Simuliu. He fine as hell. He can get it.
I mean, I don't know why they would say this experiment. I mean, what makes it experiment?
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't get it. You know, like all the shows that are on Disney Plus, they are of characters that were not leading characters in the Marvel movies. They were always extras, and it was giving the extra people the chance to have their own show. So that's how the Marvel movies or TV shows are happening on Disney Plus. The movies have always been more about characters who are going to be main members of the Avengers. So, you know, that's why we got your Iron Mans, you had your Captain Americas, and you had your Thors and your Black Panthers, you know, because they were main characters, or Guardians of the Galaxy, because they were main people that were going to be doing things as Avengers. So, I mean, do you have no plans on further them into the actual Marvel universe with everything that's going on with the multi-universe?
And reading this article just now, too, it seems like a lot of, at least Asian fans, are saying we don't want this to be a stereotypical representation that they've always shown in movies of the Asian community. And then they said the second concern is that in the comics, Shang-Chi is at times portrayed as abandoning his Chinese roots to embrace the West. And it says that in one plot line even goes so far to kill his father. So valid concerns, because they do the same thing with any community of color. They base it on the stereotypes of that community. So I can completely understand the fear of hoping that Marvel did it right.
Yeah.
And having the right people behind the scenes saying, oh, no, that ain't it. That ain't the scene we doing today. We're going to do it this way. And luckily, at least they had Black Panther for the most part that they did right and had the right people behind the scenes to ensure that was done right. So I'm hoping their track record from the past continues forward, saying that we're doing our due diligence to ensure that it's not a caricature of a community.
Yeah. I just hope there's more to it than the commercials, because the commercials, like the commercials are good. Like all the trailers I've seen, I've been like, damn, that looks dope. But then I'm like, wait, what more is there? Because there's a lot of this, 40 seconds here that I'm looking at. Like, so I'm going to be low-key mad if they did that to them.
I haven't been to the movie theater yet.
It's been a minute. Kind of going back. So I found the article. So the Disney CEO, he says that the movie is a 45-day window. And so it's an interesting experiment for us. So Liu responded, "We are not an experiment. We are the underdog, the underestimated. We are the ceiling breakers. We are the celebration of culture and joy that will will persevere after an embattled year. We are the surprise. I'm tired. I'm fired the fuck up to make history on September 3rd. So I think the way that it comes across to a person of color when you hear that this movie is an experiment, I'd be turned up too.
Absolutely. Talk that shit, Playboy. I know that's right. Yeah. Get him all the way together.
Get him all the way together. 360.
No, not 360, 180. Turn your ass around.
180.
Right.
180. Listen, I didn't do very good at math. Okay, so don't mess on that.
Look, but you know your inches.
I sure do. A minimum of 7.
And the time to get those inches.
Okay, look.
Because you said 3 p.m. Getting all these children.
Riding those faces and sucking those dicks at 3.
I can't. I need that on a shirt too. Right. I need that shirt too.
The Booticans. I know our
right in them faces and sucking them dicks. I cannot.
Everybody thought we was always just the crazy raunchy ones. Clearly, we have like our
birds of a feather, bitch.
Our complete circle of friends are just as vulgar about what we talk about.
Like we be saying stuff as if like this is normal, right? And I'm sure that people could listen to us like, what are these fools? Like, what are these fools talking about?
Honey,
we need to come with a warning label.
We say so much. We say so much, and we be so loud. We get shushed at restaurants. They be coming up. Remember when they tried to shush us in Dallas?
I've got the video.
Did you just?
Girl, and get this.
You were about to let them have it.
You know that place closed not too long after?
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Mm-hmm.
Whoops.
Look, I don't like ugly.
We got our laughs hurrah.
Jokes on them.
Okay.
Oh, man.
You know something I want to say real quick, though.
Yeah.
Before we get into the Ask Your Auntie.
Uh-huh.
Here we go.
Community, listen up. I better not hear nothing about this damn White Lotus TV show on HBO.
What's that?
It is. Y'all ain't heard about this show called White Lotus on HBO Max? Girl, everybody talking about. Everybody talking about this damn show. Everybody talking about it. Trash. It is garbage. It's garbage. It has been the worst 6 weeks of my life. Okay?
Oh, this is the one with Kelly. I feel like I ain't been doing nothing. Does it have Kelly from?
Yes, from Insecure.
Insecure. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're
from Insecure. Mm-hmm. She's in it. That show was hot boo boo. Oh, hot fucking boo boo. The only good thing is you get to see somebody eat ass. That was it. That man was male on male, and that dude was in the booty.
Oh,
he was in the booty
like groceries.
Hey.
No, I'm like Cookie Monster.
But I had to put that disclaimer out there. Y'all don't waste your time. Don't.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow, she had to stop the whole podcast.
I sure did.
Everybody knows.
Let me tell you, because they out here cutting shit like Lovecraft Country and like all these other amazing shows.
I knew you were going to say that.
And they giving this garbage. They giving this garbage.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, that was nice.
Well, I know I ain't got to catch up on that show.
Yeah.
Ain't got to be no thing between Dewan and I say, okay, you watch this and I got to watch this.
Right.
Cross that off.
Don't go for it.
Real good. Low, this flower bar. Look,
I watched it on Sunday. I've been heat for 4 days. Okay, that's how upset I'm in. I've been mad for 4 days.
Hold on. So how many episodes?
The season is 6 episodes.
So did you know in episode 1 it was boo boo and you still went on?
So here's the thing.
She had no taste. I told you she ain't got no taste.
Here's the thing. I think I just have too many white people in my life because I was listening to the wrong voices.
Yeah.
To the wrong voices because I watched the first episode and Fizz and I were like, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. Well, you know what? Give it the second episode.
Mm-hmm.
Second episode, I was like, hey, I mean,
you're like, I'm a third through the season. I might as well keep going.
There's some things that could be happening, but I got a couple questions. So I'm going to do the third. So I do the third and I'm like, this ain't it. This ain't it. But you didn't got 3 hours of my life and I'm halfway in. So let's just give them the benefit of the doubt. And maybe like season finale. It went nowhere. That writing was horrible.
Wow.
Horrible.
Well, I mean, on a different note, though, what are you feeling about Dear White People? Finally, the trailer, we talked about this 2-3 weeks ago, needing this. That it's the last season, but that looks like it's going to be a musical final season. How do you feel about that?
No, you know what? Stop. See, I wasn't trying to go here either. Okay, I really wasn't.
She's stressed. She's stressed, sis.
Press like a panini. Press like a panini at Panera, honey. Pressed.
You know what? I'm going to say this. I'm rooting for my Black people.
Yes.
They got the right music from what I hear in the trailer.
And the costumes look great, too.
They got a lot of the old school songs that you be like, hey,
and it looked like they're doing a Sister Act, too.
What have you done for me? Yeah, like,
joyful.
So I will say for the culture, it sounds like the music, they got the right music. I just hope the writing is where it needs to be.
Like, I'm just hoping it's not a because of COVID moment.
Yes.
That they either just ran out of time or
kind of like what we got in the post. Kind of,
exactly.
I don't want that.
That's why I hope it's not.
Make my ass wait longer.
Right.
So you can do it correctly.
Yeah. So, and hopefully we speak it out the side of our necks. Maybe watch it and be like, damn, that season was it.
Exactly.
That's what I'm hoping.
That's why I said I'm rooting for our Black people. I'm rooting for our Black people. Ooh. That somebody said something.
Something, yeah. And what's his face? I forget. What's the light-skinned guy that we like be talking to with on Instagram sometimes? He was popping off on people. He was like, it's like Jermichael.
Yeah, Jermichael.
He was like, if y'all don't want to fucking support it, then don't fucking support it. I was like, you better pop off.
You better get him. Better get him.
I was like, okay. So I'm gonna support it. I'm gonna at least check it out.
I am too.
I don't know if I'm gonna be like Jarrell and be a third through the season and be like, I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. If it ain't good after maybe 1.5 episodes, I'll turn that second episode off.
I mean, you always have to give, but all the seasons you have to give at least 2 episodes because
you're right.
They always did this weird like kind of recap, and it was always like a little bit of a fast forward. So,
but it's coming out September 22nd, I think.
22nd? Is it 22nd?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. September 22nd. So, community, we've been talking about this show for a while too, and
we've been waiting for that. It's so funny too. The last time you said it, the last time we asked about it, the very next day that trailer came out,
literally,
it happens every time. Do it.
Sama speaking into existence now. We need that Insecure trailer. That's what we need. We need that Insecure.
We need it,
trailer.
And we need it now.
Now. See, I'll put the bass in my voice for that one. I need it now.
Okay.
Come on,
you're giving Bruce voice now. Today. Yesterday.
Yesterday, I know that's right, because it sounds like shows are getting boo-boo right now. So,
But you know what? Mm-hmm. I'll take the wait if it's going to be good versus that train wreck last season of Pose. Like, it's just like, everything's going to be, happy, smiley unicorns and just, it was weak. So if we have to wait to get a really good season, especially with it being the last, let's do it. Let's do it. And don't be giving me like 4 episodes. I need like 12 weeks worth of shit.
Oh, come on now.
Okay.
Come on now.
I don't want 4 episodes of the same stuff. No, I don't want that. I need 12 good weeks.
I think it's 10 again. I think they're doing 10 again. Because I think the first 3 seasons were 8? 6?
Yeah.
It was like short. And then they expanded the last season. So I think they said again this last season going to be that 10.
10 weeks. I can do that.
So it's like we can do that. We can do that. Yeah, so community, just a forewarning, we talk about these shows every week. So now's the time to catch up. Back to school. While the kids at school, if you're working from home.
Get on it.
Get on it, girl.
Get on it.
Because we're going to be talking about it. And I almost need to go back and watch the last season of Insecure and Dear White People to refresh my memory.
I think I will too.
So
let's get on that.
But all right, before we get to Ask Your Aunties, we're going to take a quick little tea break. All right, here we go. What time is it?
Ask your aunties. That's a long one.
This is a long one, so bear with us. But it's good. So it says, been with my boyfriend for a year now. When we first met, he didn't touch my dick or even acknowledge its presence. I got vocal about it and asked him to acknowledge it and suck it from time to time. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to get through this without laughing. It seems like I always need to ask him to go for it or else he doesn't. And when he does, after asking me, it feels forced and unnatural. He says that he's not into sucking and I can understand, but said he would make efforts. Still, I have to always ask for a blowjob or else I won't get anything. Recently, after a talk about past experiences, I tried to see if he was just simply not attracted to my dick. He said that for him to suck a cock.
Oh, here we go.
In the past, it was on random hookups where he felt like that's what was expected of him. So he just did it. But he also sometimes felt like he willingly wanted to suck another guy's dick if it was appealing aesthetically for him and if they were bigger and more muscular. In other words, I'm not his type when it comes to dick sucking. I'm just not sure how to react and how exactly should I take these comments after battling for months with myself trying to understand why he never goes for my dick when in past experiences never had any issues.
You better tell him to suck that.
But I suck that dick. What that mouse do?
Roses are red, violets are blue. All I want to know is what that mouth do.
Right, period. This is weird. Like, this is a weird one. Like, because you start off and say you've been in this relationship for a year.
That's so, a lot of missed opportunity.
A lot of missed opportunities, but like even like before like you became boyfriends officially, like was he not sucking it, or were you like maybe just sucking his and like and fucking his? I don't know. Like it just seems like this is weird that you've been in a relationship for a year and now it's just really kind of coming to a head. No pun intended.
Not to his
okay,
head.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Ooh, you're right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. But in a relationship, because I'm 0-2 in that department.
That's two.
Well,
in the marriage department. Okay? I've been married twice. 0-2. When it comes seriously, in relationships, I would think before you decide to get serious that you would be sexually compatible. And that includes certain actions and certain things that get one off or both of you off by a particular action. So did you just settle for this dude because of XYZ over here? And it's like, okay, he's not going to suck my dick, but you know what? I'll still fuck him.
I'll suck his.
I'm still. So
right.
I guess the question, the bigger question is, why get into a relationship if that is something that's so important to you and it's not
his personality?
Yeah. Personality. Personality.
Did I really just give that facial expression?
I mean,
yeah, because I mean, I get.
As she grabs her throat, you see her look.
I get.
Right. So long.
Get my little. Right. She's like. I get that maybe like in sometimes in relationships that like they might not do everything that you enjoy, and maybe at first, and like it either comes along or it compromises in that regard. But this seems like this is a big compromise because I feel like just like in any sexual encounter, whether it's like female, male, 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 like female, non-binary, there's gonna be some private sucking. That's part of the whole shebang to me.
Somebody's mouth is getting used.
That part. So it's just like it's just weird that now a year in that it's bothering you. This to me would have bothered me way earlier on, and maybe like you said, maybe there was just other sexual fulfillment that they were having that now he's just like, okay, I really want my dick sucked, and you haven't really been doing that. Like, I really want.
But I mean, like I could understand if you simply just don't like giving oral. Like there are just some people who just don't, and that's okay. But kind of like what Landon was saying, though, like that's the conversation you should be having before you get serious. And Carl, like you mentioned, after a year, you just thinking about this now. No wonder why your dick sounds so lonely and so dry in this question. Because you didn't wait so damn long.
Oh, damn.
You failed your. Let me tell you, you failed your penis. Let me tell you, you failed your penis, not him. You were supposed to do your research.
That might be a real ass.
I'm just saying. Because it's one thing to want. It's okay to want what you want, but it's another thing to assume someone's going to do for you what you need. And so if you didn't,
unless you be vocal,
absolutely,
you gotta say what you need.
But I will say this though. his partner fucked up about the aesthetically pleasing and bigger and more muscular.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, that's a rude ass
but
statement.
I will say this though.
A bitch ass statement.
The backdrop or the focal point when you sucking a dick matters though. I'm just saying, it's always nice to look. Because
there's some ugly dicks out there.
But I mean, like, even when it's in your mouth though, you gotta look at something unless you're gonna close your eyeballs or some shit like that. Like, So, I mean,
wait, like what? Like what?
Wait, so do you suck dick with your eyes open?
Like, you better look at these motherfucking eyes, bitch. I'm sucking the soul out your dick and your eyes at the same time. Let me tell you.
I'm so far in the lap, I can't even look up.
I'm so done. I am done with both of y'all.
I mean, if you in the lab, how you gonna
let
look
me tell you, because then you
like the
because that's when you like.
Up.
I mean, first of all, they gotta be laying down for that to happen. So you can come downwards and then look up. You know, if they standing, you can't.
You got this all planned. There's a how-to in your book, isn't there?
Have you?
Wow. You haven't read the Buddhicus yet?
You see this? Okay, look. Let me tell you. Okay, let me tell you.
These broad ass shoulders.
She be ready.
That thick ass neck. Come on now, girl. I am so done. I am so done.
You know what? Getting back to what Jarrell said. You know, I want to reread something. And them having this conversation, but quote, but he sometimes felt like he willingly, keyword, wanting to suck other guys' dicks if it was appealing aesthetically for him, and if they were bigger and more muscular. In other words, I'm not his type when it comes to dick sucking. Well, you are not his type.
Period.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
I'm afraid for you, girl.
And that's a tough pill to swallow too for someone that you love and care for. To hear that you're not their type, especially after a year. And you probably knew this before now. You know, everyone's been in those moments where you're like, I knew from the get-go, but damn, it is what it is. I stayed. He knew from the get-go. And that's a tough pill to swallow, to be like, damn, I am not aesthetically pleasing enough for the person that I consider my boyfriend, the person I consider that I at least like. You know, maybe it's love, whatever it is. So that's rude as hell for your
it's almost like he's holding on to this single thing too, like this single mindset though too, wanting to still do things with specific things only with other people. You know, like
that are bigger and more muscular.
Absolutely. Like I feel like there's something there that needs to be unpacked. You know, because some people have this whole thing where they like to do things with random people because they like the whole anonymous about it, you know, where like the whole I won't have to see this person again type thing. And that's one thing. One thing. But when you can't do that and this, you know, the same stuff with your partner, that's completely two different things.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like I always say, there's other dick out there. And there's other mouths out there that are going to want to suck.
Like, I was about to ask you to raise your hand, girl. You know? I was just about to. She said a key. She said a key. Roll
at
call.
3 p.m.
Roll call.
Listen. Marriage material to me is like, I'll suck your dick in the street. Like that's marriage material. So
the first two wouldn't do that.
She said, "How you doing?"
Tanya. I mean, but like in a relationship, there's got to be certain things that get
done
both of you off, or one. Like, I'll give you an example. If we gonna really go that route, I'm not into rimming or any of that. I'm just not. However, if my partner, if that was something that was important to him a year in, you know what? I guess I'm just going to have me a little sniggity snack and just do it. I guess I'm just going to have to get to the munching, because if that is what gets him off, if that is what does it for him, love is about sacrifice. And sometimes you just got to get into the house.
Nah, man,
that's not a bad sacrifice either.
It's not.
This is going to be me in the back like this.
Oh, you going to be playing with it? I'm so done.
No.
It's like, don't play with it. Don't play with it.
I mean, you do what you got to do. Do what you got to do for your partner. And I'm not saying that everybody is the same, but at some point, love in a relationship, a year in, there's got to be some sacrifice and give and take. And if that is compromise, if you're not doing it, there's a problem. Right.
Because he's actually doing the right thing. He's communicating. I want this. Maybe a little late, but at least he's worked on it. And now he's at that step of saying, I am communicating this to you. This is what I need. This is what I want. And you ain't fulfilling it. What's up, boo? And for you to come back with that, rude ass statement, that's rude as hell. I'd be like, you know what? I done lost a year. That's it. I ain't losing no more.
I say keep it moving. I say the divorce court and call it a day.
Honey. Because there's just too much other good dick and ass and mouths and everything, titties and vaginas and everything, elbows, head, toes, knees, and toes. Like,
honey, there's a lot of good mouths out there, so you better find you one.
Exactly.
Find you one.
You better stop before she ends up in Chicago.
Just keep going.
You get a turn. You get a turn.
Hey, your turn. Just do what you got to do. Yeah, so don't waste your own time. Don't waste your
time. Is precious.
Do not waste your time.
Waste kids, not time.
Well, I mean, he ain't wasting those kids because he ain't sucking no dick, so he's wasting them.
Don't waste no kids, though.
You're right.
Turn that mouth into a daycare.
Oh, anyway, I'm so done with y'all in this episode, y'all.
I have to take responsibility for that one.
I knew from jump this episode was going to be off kilter. And so is. But community, continue to send your Ask Your Aunties questions to aya@minorityReport.com or DM us. Again, we need some new ones. The summer's almost over. Tell us about your hot girl, hot boy, hot non-binary summer. Tell us. Let us know what happened. What little tea do you need to spill? It's back to school season. What you going through? It doesn't always have to be sexual either. I know sometimes probably people feel that urge to tell us because we be just an open book. But it could be anything. Or open legs. You might need opinion or advice on. Or open legs.
Open mouths.
Gaping holes.
Open mouth. All of it.
I'm going to send one, and y'all can read it when DeJuan gets back.
Okay, perfect.
I'm just going to put it out there.
Okay now.
What, so 2 weeks from now? Yeah.
It's for 2. Well, I mean, we got a queue, so it just depends on the mood of the week. But we'll try to move you. We'll try to move yours up in the queue since you're doing us a favor of being on now.
Thanks.
But another big thing we kind of have to talk about is the craziness that is going on in Afghanistan right now. I don't even know how to line it up, spill it out. I don't want to be. I don't know what to do. I don't know what the right answer. I don't know if there is a right answer. So I don't want to sound like I know it all. That ain't my ministry. I'm not that's pay grades above us. But at least for me, at minimally, they're human beings. And a lot of them feel like they're not going to have the chance to live the life that they thought they were going to be, especially for the last 2 decades, especially if you're potentially born into one manner and then out the blue is taken away from you. That's a lot. So for me, my heart goes out to the folks over there that want out, that feel trapped, that feel like they're not going to have the rights as a human that they want. I've been trying to share it even on our stories, just ways to help and contribute, but this is a lot. So that's where I'm at. What are you guys thinking about it?
That photo of all the people in that military, that looked like something out of a fucking movie. I saw that and I was just like, how is this real life? And then I didn't even see the video of people jumping on the plane and trying to climb on the plane as it's trying to take off. And I'm like,
that made me boohoo.
You have to be so afraid for your life to risk it at such an extreme way. If people don't see how far these people are willing to go to want more, to get better, you aren't paying attention. And the fact being that so many people are blaming the current administration on this is also something that's really pissing me off, because this war didn't start because of Biden. It's not ending because of Biden. It started because of Bush. After 9/11, And then it started.
And it even started even before that, because if you really go back, the ties that the U.S. meddling into in the early 90s, helping the then Taliban because we were at odds with Russia.
Right.
Yep. And so that said group took power and we're like, oh shit, we fucked that up. Hold on, let's try to backtrack and really get it back together. And now we fucked it up again.
And then also like with Trump, before he was out of office, signing those deals, and then saying that there would be so few soldiers in Afghanistan, and then that they will be removed in 2021,
and release the current head of the Taliban from prison.
Like,
it's complicated.
Like, honestly, the American government ain't shit. They ain't shit. And I really hope that people are paying attention and seeing just how fucking nosy white people are every motherfucking where, and be doing the motherfucking most.
I got some numbers here, and importantly, not to say that these numbers are more important than the lives, but if you look at over the past 20 years, all right, 20 years since 9/11, George Bush, I'll go ahead and say it. I think it was the right thing for us to do at the time. All right. If you look at the past 20 years, we have spent $300 million a day for 20 years to get to this point. So we've done all of this work to rid the Taliban out of Afghanistan, and now here we are.
And they got that bitch back in like a week.
Literally,
and they thought it was going to be 40 days before it fallen.
And here's what I will say about at least maybe the current administration is like, because you knew what you inherited, and we're in August.
7 months in?
I just wish they had a better game plan of saying, okay, we know there's going to be people like frightened for their lives that are going to be threatened by this new regime. How do we start a plan to get them either out now? Or no, the day that we say we're getting these people out, having 9,000 planes ready and scooping bitches up. And that's the only part. Is just like you knew what was about to occur. Yes, you thought it was going to be 40 days. Right. What was your plan for 40 days?
Absolutely.
It don't even sound like you had a 40
They should have been doing that shit already.
So that's the part.
And then getting everyone out.
Yeah,
and then
so that's the only part.
I agree.
And so it's just like, and that's the part. Just like you knew what day you wanted to get these the troops out. And right, wrong, or indifferent, like that's not what we're talking about. It's just like at least have a game plan of if you're going to fulfill what even the last administration dealt with. You knew what you were inherited, and you got to come up with a better plan than what occurred. And I'm sure you could have come up with a better plan than what occurred, because what is happening now ain't it. And so like I know there was a clip of, I forget the congresswoman name from 2001. She was a congresswoman from California, if I remember right, and she was the only one that voted not to attack Afghanistan. And it's just eerie to kind of hear her reasoning and rationale from 20 years ago, because it was 3 days after 9/11. So obviously tensions were high, emotions were high. We didn't know, like it was a brand new world literally after that day. Yeah. And for her comments to kind of come out then is the only one she's kind of been vindicated. Obviously she doesn't want to be that, but what she said was going to occurred. And it's sad. And honestly, I don't know what the right answer is, because obviously at that moment in time, there was just so much shit happening. We don't know. And obviously we can't turn back the clock in time. But all I do know is as of today, we got to have a better plan to help these folks out, because they're scared for their fucking lives. And if we wanted to meddle then... we better meddle now then. We can't have our cake and eat it too. No, we fucked some shit up. We gave them some false hope. We gotta do something. And it might take another 20 years now, unfortunately. And it's just like, again, now I don't even know what to do for the next 20 years. Because how do you write how do you write this in this very complicated order? I get it. Because they were the country was housing terrorists and things like that. But I don't think we had the whole story right at the beginning. So
there's looking and I'm a numbers person. When I look at the number of civilians, all right, let's put U.S. soldiers, God bless them. Let's look at the amount of civilians that have been killed over the last 20 years. We're looking at almost 50,000. And we're still in a position where we are not helping these people. After all of this time, we are still in a position where people are still fearful of their lives and they're still dying. 20 years in. What have we done?
Yeah,
what have we done?
It almost feel like it was for nothing. And I hate that.
And I feel bad for like the like you said, for the nothing. It's just like even the folks has spent their lives over there.
Like our U.S. soldiers and stuff like that. Like these fam.
I know they feel like, what the fuck I did for the last 20 years?
20,000 soldiers, U.S. soldiers, injured.
And we don't even know the ones that have been killed. So it's a lot. It's a complicated order. I don't have the answers. I don't know the answers. The community that's listening probably don't know the answers too. So don't be out here acting. Y'all was acting like you knew you were scientists for the vaccines, and now you're trying to be military personnel.
Half of these bitches can barely do homework and do math, and now they want to be experts. They want to be experts talking about the vaccine. You bitches couldn't even do multiplication tables 10 years ago. What you talking about?
So it's hard. It's hard. So we'll continue to post what we can. We'll try to vet what we can because obviously there's just so much coming out right now. So community, if you know of anything that we can post aid, where there's like GoFundMes. I know a lot of times we don't like the Red Cross. I don't know all the answers, but we're willing to at least post hopefully the whatever quote unquote right thing. And I don't even know if there's a right thing right now either. So, and then at the same time, we got to send our prayers and thoughts and money and funds and help to Haiti, going through that crazy earthquake that they're dealing with right now, and hurricanes. Like, girl, that's a lot. It's a lot right now.
I just honestly,
and we look at what happened with their president a couple of weeks ago.
Got murdered.
Just can't catch a break.
Girl, and it's only been 10 years since that last crazy earthquake in Haiti. So
with the tsunami, right?
It wasn't a tsunami. It was just that 7.0 earthquake like 10 years ago, and this one was a 7.2. Yeah. So it's just like, woo, they haven't even really rebuilt completely from the last earthquake. And so just to have this, and then hurricanes, 2 hurricanes in a row, tropical storms, like while you're trying to like get people out of rubble and everything. Oh, man. So community, that's another one. If there's another good organization, because I know last time people didn't like the Red Cross for Haiti because the Red Cross took a lot of the money and weren't really
helping,
doing the due diligence that they needed to, and the funds weren't going to the places that they really needed to go to and all that. So if there's better organizations, let us know. We'll post that as well. And any listeners out there, we're thinking of you. Let us know. Like, it's a lot, and we know it's a lot. And hopefully, even if you listen to this episode, we could give you a moment of relief.
We're thinking about you.
We're thinking of you. So, man, what else is out there? What else is going on? Oh, did y'all see that article that was saying some folks that are working remote are working like 2 full-time jobs at home? And
I barely want to do one job.
Right. I clock off and I'll be like, throw the whole room away. I'll be looking at that side of the house like, don't even go there. I don't even want to look at it. Like,
it's crazy. Like the article is saying, like, for folks that maybe, okay, yes, they got a full-time job, but maybe it's not as busy, especially because, sometimes you're in the office, you got to appear busy. So they're found that, okay, maybe it's not as busy as I thought. So now they're like, let me get another full time, and they're not even going to know. So it was interesting. I was like, damn, that's actually kind of smart, but I don't know what happened if you get caught. But
I'm trying
like, damn, so literally doubling up on your salary.
But like, I got some questions. Hold on, let's talk about this for a second.
Here we go.
So what are these full-time jobs though? Because OnlyFans is one, I'm sure. No,
it sounded like the article said like engineers, like. Let's see here. I'll pull it back up here. Like some of these jobs, I was like, damn, housewife. Oh, damn. These articles now, like after you read like 2 articles, they make your ass try to pay.
Yeah.
I'm so done with these articles. Let's see here. So that website, so there's a new website called Overemployed, and it was started by 2 tech workers this spring, and it aims to rally workers around the concept of stealthily holding multiple jobs, framing it as a way to wrest back control after decades of stalled wages for some and the pandemic that led to unpredictable layoffs. So that's how the site started. So it looks like the site started and kind of gave people tips on how to do this. I'm just trying to see where people are working. But it says most of them say they're on track to earn a total of $200,000 to nearly $600,000 a year by doing this. And that's including bonuses and stocks. They've paid off chunks of their student loan debt, plumped up their kids' college savings, and bought everything from engagement rings to sports cars with the extra cash.
I feel like this is some white people privilege along in there somewhere, because let me tell you, Black folks have been hustling this motherfucking hard all our motherfucking lives. So
say that again.
I don't want to hear nothing about, well, all you have to do is do this, because we've been doing that and then some, and we still just fucking fighting for our damn lives. So
still trying to get half as far.
Okay, getting pushed out of our fucking areas of living and shit being gentrified and shit like that. Like articles like that just make me want to tell people to kiss the blackest part of my ass, because you have to.
What part is that?
It's the part.
It's deep.
It's the part like right below like my butt cheek and my hamstring. Deep. You know, it's where my cheeks fold at together. You know,
right? It's like the friction. The friction.
You know? But that just sounds like you have to be in a series of fortunate events for that to be a reality for you. That's not something that's feasible and obtainable for everybody. Because the truth of the fact is there's so many people who got kids, and this sounds like maybe it's a dad of a 2-parent household who has a spouse that take care of everything else. Because you got to think about, if you work in 2 jobs at the same time, you still got to make time for all other shit. But it also sounds like they may be working exactly the 8 to 5 at the same time, working 2 jobs. So you must be doing something like some coding shit where you can literally just knock out a bunch of things real easily, and you're in 3 hours, and you could be done that day. Some of us sit at the hands. I sit in 7-hour meetings.
29-year-old software. Yeah, someone said one's a 29-year-old software engineer. One was, let's see here. Oh, the founder is 38. One guy said it got crazy and stressful because he ended up working 100 hours a week, so he had to end up stopping. I'm like, that's not worth my sanity. But like, if there was a way, because there are certain weeks where you're like, okay, it's a little lighter this week. Okay, cool.
And when it's not, we be praying for those weeks, though, don't we?
Right. And then that next week, you'd be like, damn. Okay, it don't went all to this week.
But look, there's a part of this article, and it talks about someone like anyone who lives a double life for long enough will experience a close call. One worker was confused about his compensation and pulled up his pay stub to show his manager the discrepancy. To his horror, the pay stub was from the other job. If you are going to live that double life, you better have your shit together.
Lock. That's true.
All the way together.
True. I think the article said like some people like color code things. I think that's what I would have to do, because I'd be like, okay, I know everything I have in blue on this calendar and this website and everything is for XYZ, and everything in yellow is for ABC. And I would have to color code it, because I think I would get screwed up and be like, damn.
2 different computers. 2 different computers.
2 different desks.
2 different computers.
Look, they have a whole ass desk over here for this. Look, she be spinning in circles, bitch.
Honey,
don't give me a bob, because you know I'll be all over the place.
She be like, dun.
Right.
Look.
Come on, Beethoven.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I work 2 jobs, you know, like between working my 6 to 2 job, and then I'll go and coach from 3 to 7:30, 8 p.m. Like, that's a long ass day, and it requires a lot of work. I can't imagine giving 100% to anything at the same time like that.
Well, it sounds like exactly though.
So I mean, like,
article,
what's the point? What's the point outside of chasing money that you ain't go? You know what? I'm just.
But here's the thing. I'll never forget. A couple of years ago, I was a friend of mine wanted to go to the beach, and I said I had to work, and I felt really bad. And another friend said something to me that strikes me to this day. She said, no one is ever on their deathbed saying, I wish I would have worked more.
That's true.
And at that moment, when she told me that, I was like, you know what? I'm putting everything away. I'm going to the beach with my friend. No one is ever on their deathbed saying, I wish I would have worked more. And I understand that everybody has a different circumstance when it comes to finances and circumstances, college debt, like things like that. But at the end of the day, when you leave this earth, none of that is going to be remembered. None of that is going to matter when it comes down to the end of one's life, that you worked yourself to the
girl, I'm trying to make it to the end of this life
exactly
at least comfortable, and that's the predicament. But I always say I don't want my tombstone to say Carell was good at Excel. I was like, if that's what's on my tombstone, I did not do well. And
what would it say? What would it say? Carell was good at what?
Sit on my face,
sucking dick at 3 p.m. No, that's Landon's tombstone.
Nom. I
don't know. Nom. Right now.
Pretty much. Wash your legs, wash your hands, wash your ass.
Hashtag SOMF. That's what it say.
But I mean, that kind of goes into the other article that you sent, though, about how single people, how much single person needs to make in each state to meet basic needs, which is crazy looking at that. Like, but I mean, I ain't gonna lie though, seeing in Washington that you needs to be making like $35,000 a year just to meet basic needs. I was like, that sounds about right. I mean, that's pretty on par for how a bit you can't even get like a $1 like cheeseburger from McDonald's. Like a McChicken after taxes is probably going to hit you for $3.
And I've read another article the other day too, like it was talking about just like food stamps and government aid and how some families now are battling. Yes, they want higher wages, but there gets to this point where there's a cliff because you can only make a certain amount before the government aid goes away. Yeah. And so they're like, no, I don't want a quarter raise because that quarter raise now is going to put me on this cliff, what they call, I forget the cliff title that they called it, but some kind of cliff where once you raise it even a quarter, the amount of aid that they were getting, the increase in pay doesn't cover the amount of aid that they were getting. And some of it was like daycare. Some of it was just food and things like that. And they're like, you're constantly battling this line. So I know a lot of times right now, the uproar about $15 for minimum wage, which for a lot of states still doesn't even meet the basic needs, which is crazy. But they're saying, yes, I want that higher pay. But now, as where it stands, that's going to put me over the limit for the government aid. And now I'm going to lose out on daycare. I'm going to lose out on food. I'm going to lose out on this stuff that now I have to somehow supplement. And that additional dollar amount is not going to supplement what I just lost. So there's a lot of conversation of just like work and pay and what's right and bare minimums in this country. And obviously a lot of it stems with healthcare even too, that I don't know how we haven't fixed yet. I don't get it. But hang in there, everybody that's working 2 jobs, even if it's not, willingly, wanting to keep hanging in there because I get it. These bills
they don't pay themselves.
Stop.
looking at the list of states, I look at New York. I lived in New York State in New York City so many times. I question as if this article really, if these states include areas like, for example, New York City, Massachusetts. Yes, you might be able to get by $30,000 in Western Mass, but $30,000 in Boston is not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. So I'm curious. I looked at that too. It's like it's curious.
The rural areas that's probably skewing.
Exactly. I look at California. Look at San Francisco, LA.
And I think DC was like the darkest color that they had in there.
Yeah.
So DC is just like the hardest, which I thought San
Fran
DC
and Hawaii are the two highest.
So
but yeah, like, I think this is just overall just to live in the state, just because I don't see any cities listed on this. It's just the individual.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just curious if it incorporates that.
I would think so.
It's expensive to live in some of these areas, and it's nice when you live in like a blue state, right, where we've got a lot more freedoms, we've got a lot more. Still, things aren't still super duper equal, but I feel more comfortable living in a Massachusetts, a New York, an Illinois than I do an Oklahoma, a Texas, or a Florida. So I would rather live in those places, but also when you look at some of these big cities like Boston, like New York City, like Los Angeles, San Francisco, it's expensive. It's expensive.
Yeah. I would not be able to live in and I make a decent salary now. I don't know if I would do like a San Fran.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I always had this dream of being like, I just want to do New York just once to say I did it. But I kind of like my cost of the cost of living and what I have now, because I know I'm not going to be able to afford what I have now living in Atlanta compared to like a New York City or a San Fran.
And if you want to live in Manhattan, if you want to live in Manhattan,
or even Brooklyn now,
Brooklyn,
I mean, it's crazy. Fizz and I literally last weekend were talking about like, even though we just moved into our 2-bedroom apartment, at some point we're going to want a house, so we're going to want something more. And we were talking about how, you know, we're still building up like our friend group and stuff like that. So going to the suburbs just isn't the right fit yet, because we'll just be out there by ourselves, you know? So we have to find maybe like a townhome in the city. The townhomes that we're interested in, and I'm just telling you, they're like 2-bedroom, 2-bath townhomes. Okay. $987,000. And by the time you are done after signing and all that stuff, $1 million. We were having a conversation about buying a townhome for $1 million fucking dollars. I sat there and I said, those words are coming out of my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
How is when it comes to like this townhouse that you're talking about, how is the land? Is there any land at all, or you just buying a building?
Motherfucking building, bitch. You ain't got no yard.
Wow.
You got a garage underneath, but that's about it. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's happening in a lot of major cities right now. Like the market is so insane. Like there's no way a lot of folks are being able to afford.
And that's a 20-minute drive from downtown Seattle. Sad. That's not even like fucking downtown or like walking distance. No, bitch, you still need a car, an Uber, or some type of transportation to get around. The houses are 3-bedroom, 1 bath, going for $1.2 million.
Yeah.
And people buy this ish up. They're buying this shit up like it's nothing.
I'm like, what job am I missing? Like,
like, what am I doing wrong?
But like, I find sometimes it's like you wish for that job, but then you don't. There's a whole lot of work and stuff that come along with it that you're just like, damn,
no social life.
I don't have a work-life balance, and I find like, and I'm in never mind. I'm not gonna put it out there yet. I'm not gonna do it out there yet. But anyway, one last question that we didn't answer a couple episodes when Landon was on here, when Jarrell and I were both in Puerto Vallarta. And I was just to remind the community, I was in a conversation with a guy that we met there that ended up becoming a friend. Like he like checks in on Corey and I and everything like that. And I was telling him about the podcast and just saying, you know, and we we're just talking about some of the topics and things like that. And it got to like Black Lives Matter and things like that. And he's like, can I ask you a question? And he's like, this is like not coming out of like anything crazy. He's just like, I'm curious what your answer will be. He was like, do you feel safer as a Black man in Puerto Vallarta or in America? And I was like,
good question.
I was like, that's a very good question. And so I've tried to think about it since then, and I still don't know what my answer really is because I kind of go back and forth. But I was curious. You've both been there. What is your sense? And how do you answer that question?
I mean, for me personally, unless I'm surrounded by all Black folks, I don't feel safe. There's just no way for me to turn off that, almost like that Spidey sense, that Negro sense to be like, bitch, you better look, you better watch, you know?
Right.
But then, and I've also had like some friends who are Mexican too, you know. I told them I was going to PV for the first time. They're like, hey, don't be surprised as well, though, if you also have experienced some racism being Black in Mexico, though, too, because that amount of colorism and racism is still a very much thing too. I kind of experienced it more so like, just kind of the looks, more of the, the side, but I never felt unsafe, if that makes sense, So, I mean, I definitely got some looks in the sense of like, who is this person, whatever the case is.
You sure it wasn't that gold?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't
the gold mask. It wasn't the gold mask. It wasn't. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just go into any situation. Like I said, if I'm not surrounded, if it's not like an all Black situation where I'm not with my family, thinking that at any point there's at least one racist person around me. And that way I can make sure that I never get got, because I'm not trying to end up on nobody's news station.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Landon?
I've only been to PV once. I was surprised at my level of comfort because I know that Mexico in general can be a very Catholic, predominantly Catholic area. So I was more thinking of being gay versus being Black. And we were in PV, which I feel like is pretty gay friendly. And so it's hard because I've only been there one time. So, and I was there for your wedding. So, and it's a little different when you're staying at a resort, and we only really ventured out like one time, I think. So it wasn't even that long for me to notice. Like JT said, it's very, still gotta, keep your, eyes, ears, and, just like be aware of your surroundings, and like, I'm ready to pop off. Like, you really want to come for me? Let's go. But I do agree with Jarrell that always having that heightened sense of awareness of like where you're at, who's around, where's this, where's that. I did not feel unsafe. It's hard to say because I only went once.
Right. And I've been, I guess, blessed enough to go or 3 times now. And the last 2 times, like, been able to be in more of the center of the town, like the more, I guess, the zone romantica is what they call it. And before he asked this question, I was just like, it's kind of the same answer. It's just like, you always kind of use your wits about you. That's what you kind of was always taught. So it's always there. But I don't think I ever really felt unsafe. Yes, like I saw, like one night there was like an armored truck with like
in the back of
the army guys with the guns and shit, So it's like you see that, you're like, oh, okay, let me. I'm in a different country. Let me get back in the zone. I'm over here partying. Let me hold on. But then you go to Times Square now, and they have the same men in Times Square with machine guns. So it's just like, I guess maybe, unfortunately, that's not too abnormal now in a lot of places. But I guess just as a Black gay man, I felt comfortable as a gay man there because it's very gay. And as a Black man, luckily there was enough Black men around that you still kind of be like, you kind of give the little nod to like, hey, what's up, boo? I see you. We see each other kind of thing. And I don't feel, at least from maybe like the quote unquote natives and townies there, I didn't feel, at least the looks that I was getting was because I was Black. It might be because I was Black, but like it was almost like a, okay, I got you kind of situation, more so than maybe sometimes here, if you're in like a predominantly white area, you get in those stares because they think you're about to steal something, So it was a slightly different gaze, if that, like, at least the feeling I got from the gaze, and that's the Gaze, not the Gays. So it was just interesting when he asked me that question. I was just like, wow, I don't know. I think I feel safer there in some regards, and I feel safer here in some regards, just because, I mean, maybe it's just because I'm familiar with my community. I'm familiar with my area. I already kind of scoped out and know who to keep an eye on, and then you're always keeping an eye on who else might be visiting. But there, in a sense, and it might be naively, because you're on vacay and you're trying to relax a little bit, and maybe your guard is down a little more because you're there for vacay. And so it was, I don't know if I could, I don't know if I could really compare the two, because the reasons where I feel safe and why I feel safe are different for both locations, and why I feel unsafe for both locations.
Yeah. It's similar. I lived in Boston for a while. I feel safer in Chicago than I do in Boston. It just is. That. So it's kind of hard to answer that question for a place that I've only been to one time. And a lot of people had already put ideas into my head that it was gay friendly. And in my mind, maybe, again, being naive, that if it's gay friendly, maybe they're a little bit more friendly towards other things like
Black people.
So it's an easy thing to be naive about. But
I do hear that people do pickpocket and people like the cops will like stop you and like things like that. I've read that in like groups. So like reading that in like Facebook groups, like it keeps you hyper aware because you're like, bitch, I don't want to go to no jail in no foreign country. I ain't playing with these cops. Like you want this pocketbook? Okay, here you go.
Have it.
Because you know you got to carry a little pocketbook. It's more than just your little wallet.
I got a backup at the hotel. Okay, got a backup at the hotel.
Except I left mine on the plane last week. I'm still not over that. But yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so it was just an interesting conversation to have because literally we were like sitting on top of the rooftop of God, I forget the name of the bar there.
No, it's right by Mr. Flamingo.
Nope, it was in the Gabriel Zone. It's next to Mr. Flamingo's, and like I saw that drill and then walking into I saw y'all walk into Industry, and we were in I don't think it's Indigo. I forget the name. Mm-hmm. Community, let us know. I'm sure y'all screaming at the speakers now, like, bitch, it's this. But yeah, it was just an interesting sitting up there, nice breeze, drinking some cerveza. And it was just interesting that he was curious because he was a white guy, just to have that conversation, be open, and it wasn't like in a shady or condescending kind of way. So yeah, so that's a conversation I just was curious, especially since Jarrell and I were just there just to see your comfort level one way or the other. But I think that's it. We kind of at the end of the episode. Landon, thank you again, boo. We'll have you again next week.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
We have a guest next week, even though I thought it was supposed to be this week. I was losing my mind today. I don't know what date I thought it was. But community, be safe out there. Continue to mask up because Miss Rona's still playing out here. And wash your hands, wash your legs, wash your ass.
All of it. Paint too.
That's true.
Right, get in there. Rubber dub in the tub, bitch.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.